Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cody and I'm so happy to have you in my kitchen with me. I am going to be working through a no waste November this month. It just happens to fall in November and I like the way that that sounded, so I went with it. But this could be true at any time of the year. If you're wanting to cut your grocery budget or if you have something that you are wanting to save for, this is a great way to kind of use some leftover things and create new stuff so that you're not eating just the same thing over and over. You get to be creative and have some fun in the kitchen, but still stay budget friendly. So what I'm going to do is every week in the month of November, I'm going to focus on a different common leftover ingredient. And this week I am focusing on baked potatoes. I don't know if you guys do this, but anytime I make baked potatoes, I have like 1,000 left over, even if I think that I have just made enough for what we actually need. Somehow it always happens. But baked potatoes stay good in your refrigerator for a surprisingly long amount of time, and you can reuse an already cooked potato in so many different ways, and oftentimes it can be a fairly quick thing to make if you already have baked potatoes ready to go in your refrigerator. So I hope that you guys will subscribe and hang out with me this week, and I will show you several different ways that I like to use baked potatoes to make something new. So the first way that I love to use a leftover baked potato is to make hash browns. In different parts of the country, I think these are called different things. Some people call them home fries. We call them hash browns. So I'm gonna chop this up into a pretty small dice and I am going to cook it, and then we will use that to make a breakfast hash. Now I will say that all of the recipes that I'm going to show you guys, I'm probably just gonna be making 1 or 2 servings of that. And that will probably be true for the whole month, because when we have leftovers, we might not have enough to feed our whole family, but we have enough to feed like 1 or 2 people. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this today. This will not be like a family size portion, especially for my big family, for everybody for breakfast. But if I have just 1 baked potato, I can make just my breakfast or just my husband's breakfast, something like that. So that's what I'm going to be working on. But do be aware that if you do want to use this for a whole family, then you can absolutely scale up. I'm just doing it based off of what we have enough leftovers for to actually use. So I'm chopping these, what is that? Maybe half inch pieces, and again, like you can kind of see some dark spots, so anytime that I see those, I'm going to cut them off and discard them, and it's totally no big deal. So we have our potatoes all diced up, and I am now going to take them over to the stove. So I have my small cast iron pan here, and I am just going to heat that up and add some butter to it. You can add whatever kind of oil you want. If you have bacon grease, of course you can use that. I'm gonna get my butter in here and melt it. So our butter is melted. At this point, there is a lot of leverage that you can kind of do with this. If you want, you can add some onions in here and saute that. That would be really good. I don't have any onions, so I am just going to use the leftovers that I have. So I have my butter in, it is starting to kind of foam, it's melting. So I am now going to just add in my potatoes that I diced. Since these are already cooked, we're not looking to actually cook that potato through, and that's one of the things that's going to make this so fast, which is really nice. We are just looking to get kind of a crust on that potato, warm it through. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to that. I'm going to make sure that you season those potatoes really well. And then I am going to let this sit undisturbed for just a few minutes. I have that heat up fairly high. So what's going to happen is the bottom of those potatoes are going to start to brown and get really, really yummy. And when that happens, then I will give them a little bit of a toss just to kind of get brown all over. It's going to warm all the way through, reheat those potatoes, and it's going to make a really delicious hash for our breakfast. Okay, I can smell that butter, so I'm going to start giving these a little bit of a flip, and look at that brown goodness. Ooh, it smells good. So I'm just going to give this a toss and try to get as much of that potato browned and yummy as possible. So we have a pretty decent amount of brown on everything. I gave everything one more stir, and the next thing that I'm going to add is 2 eggs right on top. And then I have a lid that I'm just gonna sit right on top, and that's gonna help the top of those eggs cook so that I don't have to flip them. Once the eggs are cooked to the point that I want them to be, then our breakfast is going to be ready. All right, my eggs are done. So I'm just gonna move this over to a plate and we can have breakfast. You know what I realized is that I was so excited about how good this was gonna be that I totally forgot to season my eggs. So I did go ahead and add a little bit of salt and pepper just on top. That's obviously better if you do that before it's cooked, but I'll take what I can get right now. There we go. Our breakfast hash is done. If you have some green onions to sprinkle on top, that would be really good. Some dill would be really good sprinkled on top. This is what I had, so this is what we're going with today. But this is day 1 of our leftover baked potato for No Waste November, and I am pretty excited to dig into this breakfast this morning.